Welcome back to Let's Play the second quest of Super Speed Castlevania IV. I want to apologize for the sound quality of these videos. There's a considerable amount of popping, and I believe that's an artifact of the music running at a higher speed in this emulator. I'll have to play around with some settings and see if I can fix it. But it's actually a big shame in this stage in particular, because this is one of my favorite music tracks in the whole game. And there are better tracks later on, better music, but this stage and the music always stand out to me because, like I said in the first video, this is one of the very first Super Nintendo games that I played. And this stage, level 3 of Castlevania IV, was the first time I really realized, you know, holy crap, I'm playing a 16-bit game. This is far and away anything that I've been used to up to this point. And as an example, you'll see little water droplets that fall from the ceiling. There's one right there over top of that bone dragon. And playing the game as a kid, learning the levels initially, I always avoided those. I tried to make sure I didn't get hit by those because I couldn't imagine that they were completely harmless. Of course they are. They're just ambient effects. They're there to make the damp cave really look like a damp cave. And that's something that I really came to appreciate, even very, very young, because games didn't do that until the 16-bit consoles came around. At least not in a way that people who aren't looking for those kinds of effects would notice them. So that's kind of what this particular level in Castlevania IV means to me as a gamer. And we're going into the second part of the stage now. The first part was a cave, this part here is a waterfall, and the third part is some ruins. And what's interesting about stage 3 is that each of the 3 sections has a different background music. This is a very serene waterfall kind of music. So most of the stages in the game just have one track, and I think the reason is the first half of the game Simon is making his way to Castlevania, and the second half of the game takes place in the actual castle. And I think what Konami was trying to do was actually give a sense of Simon traveling a great distance to get to the castle to slay Dracula in his quest. And I think they achieved that by showing off so many different locations in the beginning of the game, in the first 5 or so stages. It is annoying though, because as I'm scrolling upwards in the waterfall, the bottom of the stage is just death. If I were to fall off the platform, I'm not going to because I'm awesome at this game, but if I were to fall, I wouldn't just land on whatever platform happens to be down there. I would just fall off the bottom of the screen and die, which is, just obnoxious. Alright, so here we are into the ruins, into the final section of stage 3. And, so, yeah, those boxes, whatever, you'll never see those again. Eyeball guys, yeah, there's one. You have to memorize the position of the eyeball guys in the stages, and there are more of them in the second quest, and some of them are in different positions. They are the most obnoxious of the regular enemies in the game. There are bosses that are harder, of course. But they always fly at a very particular height. It's always out of your jumping range, so you can't easily jump up and hit them with a boomerang. What's more, they cry these teardrops of blood, which damage you, so you can't stand underneath them and whip upward. What is in this candle? Ooh, knife. No, I don't want that. Wait till that to go away. There we go. So, and they always appear in sections of stages where platforming is very crucial. Like if I were to fall off this platform, I would just fall into the water and die. And one hit on any of these narrow platforms would knock me off. So you've got to be very careful fighting those eyeball guys. And, you know, the less said about them, the better. I don't think there are any more in the level, so get on with my life. Oh, yeah, club guy. Thanks for the hit there, goblin guy behind the wall. There's a crucifix item. That right there destroys all the monsters on the screen. And I didn't realize playing the game that Nintendo had all these censorship policies. For example, changing the cross sub-weapon to a boomerang. But they didn't censor that crucifix. It's just, I don't know, a sigil or a coat of arms or something with a crucifix on it. And top left corner of the screen, you see that bird? Yeah, because that will kill you every time. Unless you're paying very close attention, again, and memorize the locations of the monsters. There's a couple more that like to hide behind the score display and the other rigmarole at the top of the screen there. That little section of the level with those 4 or 5 birds is so difficult until you really memorize every single one of them. And there are more of them and in different locations in the second quest. So after you've memorized them all and go through the game a second time, you have to memorize them again. So yeah, here's the boss of stage 3. This is a 2-headed dragon, and I'm going to kill it with 6 boomerangs. Witness the absolutely crazy destructive power of triple boomerangs there. Yeah, that's it. That's all there is. And it's going to count down my time remaining and my hearts. It doesn't count down your hearts and score them at the end of stage 2, so I almost always finish stage 3 with like 99 hearts. So we'll pick it back up here next time at stage 4. See you guys here.